Hello, true believers. This is Vendetta coming at you with another police gone wild here in the Philippines. And this one I've talked about before. It's Philippine National Police, probably more specific here, secret jails. So if you just go to Google and just type in secret, that's what I did, secret jails here, automatically you get to this video of the police station where they have a secret jail. So let's go ahead, and I hope the sound is working fine on this video. And I'm just going to do this in one take. And let's watch one of these news clips. This one was back in 2017, so about 4 years ago. But in my latest videos about the one woman who was kidnapped and raped, she said she was put in one of these police secret jails in Cebu. And the one we have over here is the one in Manila. So what we'll do is we'll check out the video, we'll watch it, and I'll do my commentary as we go by. Then I'll do my summary and also my own experiences when it comes to these jails. And this one specifically is the secret jail. So let's go to the video. So it says here CHR, which is I think Commission of Human Rights is the, if I'm correct. CHR means Commission of Human Rights. Kumato kayo dyan. This is, it's like, hey, give us a sign that you're there. This is the community human rights. It's the translation is kind of loose, but I'm giving you because you can't literally translate some of these. Kumato kayo dyan is like, hey, people knock there. Usually, I mean, that's not how they say. Show us a sign that you're there, which is to knock, that there's somebody there. So let's take a look, and you can see here we're like in an office. So let me translate. As you can see over here, from the video there, you can see it for yourself. Like I said, just type secret jail, secret jails. You can see there's a cabinet or a shelf, and if you can see, I don't know if there's hinges on, if you can see the hinges, but it says over here, itong nakatago selda sa loob ng Manila Police District Station 1 sa Tondo. Tondo is actually where I was born. If you look at my birth certificate, it says Tondo. That's why not that I know this place, but I have a connection to this place because this is where I grew up. It's back in the 70s and 80s. I mean, if you don't know any better, which I didn't know any better, I didn't know it was like the most dangerous part of the Philippines and the world. And over here we have a secret jail. Now, wherewithal what this is, like I said, you know what, let's continue, and I'll leave my commentary at the end. So the first thing they asked was, how many of you are in there? And the person inside says, a lot. So as you can see, this person is trying to figure out how to open the door, or how to open it. So the reporter says, a lot. And then they say, okay, you heard them say there's a lot of them in there. Okay, so open it up. Yeah, okay, come in here and take a look. So it says here, so if you read there, it says here is a small space behind the cabinet. So it's more a shelf, but in this one it says cabinet. So it's whoever put these subtitles. This is ABS-CBN video. ABS-CBN was actually there during my arrest, my entrapment. So here they are, or here is the person. This is the Commission of Human Rights confronting the chief of police there. He says, don't even try to worm your way out of this. It's obvious. It's so obvious, man, that there's people there. Oh, wait, tayo dyan. We were caught red-handed. This is one of the situations. Oh, keep going. The prison was discovered by surprise inspection of the Commission of Human Rights last night. So it says here, this I get conflicting reports over here. It says we got 9 people that were in the jail when they discovered it. As you can see, it's kind of like 2 feet by 8 feet wide. Look at how the people are. If you could see them just squatting down on the floor, they could probably reach the other side with their foot. But if you're cramped in there, you have to make yourself as small as possible to fit as many people there as possible. So these people are apparently kidnapped. These prisoners are kidnapped by the police. So it says here, dinampot, which means kidnap. So they were picked up as part of the anti-drug operation in Wednesday. I have to think about which day. It says here, hold on. What does it say here? It says here we have the paperwork for them, but they didn't go through the proper process yet of inquest or blotter. Blotter means it's just record them. And inquest, like I said, you have to be inquested 3 days after your arrest. That's pretty much the law. And if you're not, I mean, but the law over here is kind of questionable or adjustable or arbitrary. So the people who were in prison, and this is they interviewed them. So the person in prison said, how many of you are in there? Okay, it says 30, which means 30. 30, 40, 30, 40, 45, 45. So 30 is 30. But it doesn't look like that there's 30 in there. If you count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, so it probably is 9 is probably more consistent. But it's, as you can see, it's a mixture of men and women, which is against the law to put both men and women together in the same prison. Okay, so there's a lot of rules being violated there. I mean, there's of course obvious reasons why you don't put men and women together in a prison like this. I mean, especially if you're a woman. I mean, a lot of bad things could happen to you if you're together. So here we go. We got a woman and several women over here and men here in the secret jail. They said 1 week. They've been there 1 week. So obviously over the 3 days, they should have been out of there. If this was supposed to be just for the inquest, they should be out of there by no more than 3 days if they are supposed to be in there. So they're asking what are you waiting for? Or we're waiting for our ransom to be paid. So we're waiting for our family to pay the ransom so we can be set free. So they're asking for 100,000 and 50,000 pesos, which is $2,000, $3,000. I repeat, $2,000, $3,000. So as you can see, the motive for the secret jail is to extort, blackmail, ransom people for money for the police. That's why they put them here in jail, in the secret jail. Who's holding you for ransom? And they said, obviously, the police. So here's the superintendent, Roberto, the chief, the commander in charge of the police station. He says that these people are caught as drug suspects. So if you look at the translation over here, let me get this correct here. So he said the reason why that the prisoners are in that secret jail is because while they're waiting to be processed, they're just close by. Is the reason. I said, okay, we'll put people in a secret jail in these inhumane conditions, 2 feet by 6 or 8 feet, so that they could be close by as they're suspected drug suspects. And I'll give my thoughts on this, the war on drugs and things like that afterwards. But let's focus on what's next here. So just be aware that that was his excuse. Now, that was his words, and I know news agencies can pretty much edit interviews to make it sound worse, but this is one of those situations where it's res ipsa loquitur. Res ipsa loquitur is Latin for it speaks for itself. Okay, we have this secret jail that's hidden behind a cabinet. It's not like open where you could see like a prison where everybody can see it. It's hidden. Why is it hidden? For what is the reason? And the reasons are pretty obvious. And this is the chief of police backpedaling, saying, "Oh, so they could be close by when they get processed," as if that's a necessary thing to do. So he was removed from his position as station commander while the investigation continues. And by the way, I haven't heard anything about this thing or what happened to them. Usually, just like the police versus police encounter, it's been over a month, probably over 2 months now, since that police versus police encounter where 2 drug assets and 2 police agents were shot down during the gunfight, where they're like shooting each other now. So that's the video. So you can see, before coming here to the Philippines, this is one of the things you need to know, that these kind of shenanigans are going on. Let me get back to the rest of back to the video over here. So the reason why we have secret jails like this is for the police can extort and rob. And as you could see from the Cebu City news report, rob, rape, torture in these secret jails. I mean, there's no other reason why you would want to make a hidden jail with a bunch of prisoners behind a cabinet like this. This is all. This is not also. You don't even have to say suspicious. Like I said, res ipsa loquitur. And this is not the only secret jail here. Now, from my experience, I didn't experience a secret jail because there's the biggest factor why I didn't experience a secret jail, why I didn't get extorted that way, is because the media was involved. So they had to kind of make sure that I was being processed in a manner that the media can digest. But in this situation, if it's not done through the media, you could end up in one of these places if you ever get arrested, especially if you have money. So those are the things that you have to keep in mind. It's like, okay, Bebo Tony, that's really nice that you told us about the secret jails. Well, what does that have to do with us? Okay, but as you can see, these people were put in here regardless of what the reasons are. You don't need any reason to be put in there. The only reason you need to know is that you're in there because these people need money, and you have money, and you could end up in a place like this. And I'll tell you what my experience are when you end up in places like this is, it's like being buried alive. You're like behind this 2 feet space behind the wall, but being buried alive behind a wall with other people. And if you don't pay, then you'll end up just like, you end up dead like that one Korean business owner if you don't pay. So, of course, your family is going to do everything they can to pay and get you out. And they'll beg, steal, and borrow so you can get out of a hellhole like this. And why? And the question is, like, why do places like this have to exist? And like I said, it's because of money. And this is how far and how low they will go. Usually, this is something that's done by organized crime in other countries, but here in the Philippines, it's done by the local police, the national police. So you just have to be aware of that. And what's going to happen if they get discovered is that's even scarier is absolutely nothing. The person that is in charge of this is just transferred to another place that has a secret jail like this. I mean, these things are pretty common, and these secret jails are like common knowledge. This is not a secret. Probably why this happened now with this is because it's probably for, I assume, or I guess it's probably for political reasons. That person had to be transferred out to somewhere else because these people that run these things have usually a lot of protection, and or maybe they're not giving enough money, not enough protection money, and they're keeping it too much for themselves is my guess. So the people that are protecting them, that make sure that these things don't happen, are probably not giving enough, or are probably just pocketing too much, or they're just getting too greedy, and that they need to be replaced with somebody that's going to be more generous. So that's probably my theory, and it's consistent with how things work and how culture is important. What is important here in the Philippines based on culture is because it's a country of poverty. When it comes to poverty, you're going to have absolute poverty automatically results in absolute corruption, including especially the people in power, especially the police. And like I said, the police here in the Philippines are organized crime. So those are one of the things you have to keep in mind when you come here to the Philippines, that be aware of it. And if you do, and then of course, if you're coming here, the same thing happened to me. It's like I lived here for so long. You're talking about 15 years that I've been fine. I've been avoiding. I've stayed a civilian. I didn't get involved in this war with the police. But now that, as you could see, that it happened to me, and it could happen to you also if you come here as often as possible. And this could be a problem where they'll steal and extort money from you just like they did with me. Well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I have other videos that I need to do. I apologize that I didn't vlog or I didn't live stream last Saturday night because this week is Hero's last week of school, and we had school projects that we had to do to get caught up on, so we need to finish it by this week. And I'll probably upload the video. We did a science video of doing a do-it-yourself solar still, but I wanted to do a secret jail video. So because some of the things I say, you could probably say it's anecdotal, it's a isolated incident, but this secret jail, as you can see, it's not an isolated incident. And if you want to experience what it's like being buried alive, then this is one of the ways to do it. And the main reason why is because the police have to have money, and that's organized. That's how organized crime here is in the Philippines. And this pretty much speaks for itself. This is not like something that was a one-time incident. They've been doing this for years and years and years. To plan and to build a secret jail like this, it requires resources and planning and a lot of protection for it to go on. And not only here, but in so many other places this is a common practice. And what you have to keep in mind also, that especially in this time of pandemic, that it's going to get worse. These things there's actually more news reports of more people being kidnapped every day over here, and it's going to continue because as the cost of living keeps increasing, and the opportunities are getting less and less, and people need more money. Because with the police, not only do they have to take care of their first family, they have to feed their second family, they have to feed their third family. Because here in Filipino culture, it's normal for men, especially police, to have more than several children from different mothers. And it's not just food, it's not only their needs, but also their wants. I mean, especially the gadgets now these days. How else are the police going to get them? How else are they going to get money? They have to get it from you. And how are they going to do it? Well, they're going to do it through these secret jails. And you have to keep in mind that this is going to continue, and it's going to get worse because the world is not getting any better. It's getting worse. And part of it is a lot to do with overcrowding. Overpopulation is your main problem. If resources were plentiful now, that they would be affordable, that the police wouldn't need to do this. But the answer is no. And everybody, it's, if you want to get to the root of the problem, is because the conditions, overcrowding, not enough resources, they're overpriced, so only the supply is outstripping the demand. And as Filipinos are very resourceful, that they'll find ways to especially their priority, they'll find ways to get iPhones, not only for themselves, for their kids. And as you could see, I got an iPhone because I did something. I was providing a service that people appreciated, and as a in return of their token of appreciation, I was given an iPhone as a gift. Well, if you're police, that's what you do. This is, okay, what do? You're in control of jails. And how are you supposed to make money out of jails? Well, you put the people like me with iPhones in jails, or in jails like this, and now they have an iPhone. I mean, in their defense, how else are they supposed to do it if you're a police person? And before, in a world where iPhones didn't exist, then they wouldn't need to do this. But now, since they do, not only do they need iPhones, but as you could see from my credit card statement, they need also other phones, for not just one, but for other family members. Oh, and I'll do a video on my Bitcoins. I actually downloaded the history, and it actually shows the names of whoever hacked into my Bitcoin account, who they are, and I actually looked up their names on Facebook, and I'll do an expose on that pretty soon, shortly. But what I have to do next is, right now, since I'm only one person and the squeakiest wheel gets the oil, Jim Bob is the squeakiest one. He gave us a contribution that I am applying towards here as gaming keyboard and mouse, because it was pretty expensive. It's double the price over here. So the first thing I'm going to do so I'm going to do all those things after I take care of Jim Bob's request. He wanted me to do a car review on a Honda Accord specifically. So I'll get that done this week somewhere while we're getting through Heroes last week. There's just a rush to getting a lot of things done to finish up the online school year, which is kind of a ironic statement. There was really no school at all. The school was closed, so everything was done online. So it just kind of asks the question, do we really need school now these days? Anyway, I mean, the price is still the same, so why do you need to spend all that money on maintaining a big campus if you could just do it all online? And where did all the money that we paid for the tuition go to? Anyway, that's a discussion for another video, but here it is, the secret jail. Keep this in mind, and to make sure that you don't end up like this. And how do you do that is the question. The answer is, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people, just like me, you could end up in one of these places. And you're only and the main reason why, the main motive why, is money. And now that you know, just keep in mind that you do whatever it takes to survive, just like I did, and live another day so you can vlog another day. Anyway, this is Bebot Only. Let me know what you think, what your comments. Give me your theory on why now. I gave you the theory that, because obviously the person who was in charge wasn't giving enough protection money upstairs. So if you're not giving enough payola money upstairs, then what they do is they call their friends up in the Commission of Human Rights, because there's secret jails everywhere, and they're not secret. And why did this one get raided and then it gets removed by somebody else who said, I can give you more, or I could it's like, how much is that person giving you, or I can double it? Well, they can easily put another 60, 70, 80, 100 people in that space, because it's not them that has to be put in there. But this is the life that we live here in the Philippines that you don't know about, and this is the reality, and this is the truth that you don't want to, of course, that you want to be in denial of, because this is not what you want to think of. And I was the same, way also, until it happened to me. And my cell might not have been like this, 2 feet by 6 feet, but I got enough to experience to know exactly what the feeling would be like in there. And if you have any questions or comments, I'll probably do a live stream this Saturday, and let me know what you think. This is Bevels Only. Thanks for watching.